Now I would like to invite my next guest, and he is Mr. N. V. Paulose. Mr. N. Paulose, who is he always preferred to be called as Mr. Paul. So Mr. Paul is the chairman of Global TV, which is India's first internet TV. He's a postgraduate in commerce. He is also a master practitioner in NLP and a hypnotherapist. He has 30 years experience in areas of teaching, media, and coaching. He's a communication trainer and a phobia healer as well. And before I will ask him to say, I will mention here one thing very clearly. Mr. Paulose was the person who made me to host this program of media conference. I have nothing to do with the journalism. I have nothing to do with the media. I was promoting my organ donation awareness program. He happened to meet me being the chairman of Global TV, and he started, because we were doing earlier with V4News. He says, why not we also join with you? And then we have started that on the organ donation. But one fine day he says, I want you to send a message for some program in a college. And I said, I cannot send I am going to talk about organ donation. He says, okay, send organ donation message. I sent the message. I was not in India. I was at that time in Hawaii, in USA. When I landed up here, the next day, he immediately called me. He says, are you free in the evening? I said, I just came yesterday night. He says, no, there is an important program and I want you to host the program. I said, but I have no experience of hosting a program. But because he insisted, I went there and all top people were there. One Mughal, the media Mughal was there, Mr. He was from this Indian Express family, one CA, one the DC of the Mangalore, and one Jain University vice chancellor, pro vice chancellor of that time. And I hosted of my whatsoever I was little knowing because seeing how they used to host. And afterward, he says, no, now I want that you should host. I spoke to Mr. Kundar about this, and he also saw. He says, yes, you are doing well. And one fine morning, Mr. Kundar gave me a call. He says, Mr. Goel, can you come to my studio? I said, for what? Well, today we are going to have the counting of elections, and I want you to do this analysis. I said, but I cannot do. I have no knowledge of your language. I was very sorry, but I have not learned. So he says, no problem. Can you do it in English or Hindi, whichever is comfortable? And he called me, and I was there. For 2 or 3 days, he called me continuously. So that type of faith, if a person can show to a amateur who was having no experience, this shows that how much they can promote the person, and they have seen the ability or whatnot. But today, I am a forced host of this program because of these two gentlemen. Thank you very much. Now, I would like to invite Mr. N. V. Paulose to share his views about Mangaluru, the pride of Mangalore, V4News. Mr. N. V. Paulose, please.
For me, V4News is a national TV channel with a regional outlook. I will tell it very clearly. The programs of V4News is at par or even better than most of the national TV channels. And the outlook, the vision, I will put it very clearly. I had an interaction with Mr. Lakshman and Dr. Habib Rahman. After 2-3 meetings, Dr. Habib, when I met him personally, he told me, this gentleman is a visionary media person. He has a vision about media, and he is very different from other media people. And this is how I have established a silent partnership with Mr. Lakshman. And what I have seen in him is he's always calm. That could be because of his sportsman background. Everything, anything which is told, he wants to know the specifics and get into the action. He will do the things what he's supposed to do. And he may not argue with you what is you doing for him. And I wanted to tell many great things in Mangalore is happening because of the leadership of V4News. And it should be like that. Media's job, media, as we know, reporting is a post-mortem task. Post-mortem is happening once everything is over, they report who is wrong, who is best, and media become a judge. Whereas in V4's case, V4 is taking leadership of activities presenting things and taking the society forward into the growth process. And if I should recall, the most wonderful thing happened to me that I have come to Mangalore by mistake. I was very comfortable at Kottayam, being PRO of a very, very reputed newspaper, Deepika, 140 years old, and very safe. The concerned people, when they started Kannur edition, they asked, can you just come and help us for a month? I told yes. When I reached Kannur, they asked, can you just go and check whether Mangalore has a potential? I came next day here and I told it's a very, very potential place. Oh, please stay back there. I was forced it that way. I reached Bangalore. And I tell you, that is one of the most fascinating thing happened in my life. Mangalore is a very peculiar place. I can tell it's a half awakened land. I am saying it is a half awakened land because it is yet to be fully awakened. Because Mangalore doesn't know the power of Mangalore. That is the whole problem in Mangalore. It has tremendous potential of all nature. And the most fantastic among them is the people of the place. You can walk into any house in Mangalore and ask for water, and they will host your lunch and send you back. They will not ask you, who are you, where are you coming from, and what is your background, what is your name, which caste you belong. To my experience, I can vouch for it. And this is the beauty of Mangalore. So I call Mangalore being the headquarters of positive media. And I am shameless in calling that. I am courageous saying that I am one among that. I'm very clear about that. So when we realize the power of Mangalore, Mangalore is a place where more Mangaloreans are outside. A very small population of Mangalore is in Mangalore, and all others well-to-do, doing good, most of them are outside. And it is the job of the media to connect them and put them into real activity of development. And media has a positive role to take. When media put a wrong message about Mangalore, even now we are struggling to change the name of Mangalore. People, when I went into Hyderabad, somebody is asking, are you still living in Mangalore? Because after the pub attack and those news, and even after a year also that time, are you still living in Mangalore? Still living in Mangalore? Is the place very safe? This is the role of media, giving good name and bad name. But Mangalore is a place, now Kerala is popular as known as God's own country. For me, if somebody asks me which city you prefer, my native place or Mangalore, for me, without doubt, I can say I prefer Mangalore. If not my mother there, I'm not interested to go there. That kind of an attachment. I tell people I have green card in Mangalore. I have a green card in Mangalore. That means I become a resident in this place. And that is how the whole, the heart-to-heart relationship between people, which is, I don't think it is possible in many cities in India. Maybe entire Indian culture may be of that kind, but Mangalore has it deep in everyone's heart. And now media, now everybody realize media has to be positive to survive. If media is not positive, it is like an angry child. Nobody welcome an angry child. Doing nothing and shouting at people who are doing something and troubling them is not the way. I remember I brought one wing commander to Mangalore. I took him to many places. He told me there is a lot of vacancies in Air Force. There's an imbalance in representation from Karnataka. There are very less number of people from Karnataka joining Indian Air Force. And other two states also was in that mode. That Lal Goel said, you'll be knowing Wing Commander Arjit Ghosh. When I met him, he was the squadron leader, Arjit Ghosh. He was commanding officer of Airmen Selection Center at Bangalore. I was working in Indian Express that time. So I was taken to his office and introduced. Before he talked anything, I asked him, can Indian Express do something with the Indian Air Force? That is my habit. And he told me, gentlemen, we can do so many things. Please be seated. And he told me the reality. I want support from the media because I want so many people to join Indian Air Force from Karnataka. Then only that balancing of representation will happen. But I will not take bribe and take people join Indian Air Force. They should pass the exam. I can give them model question paper. I can come and talk to them, motivate them, everything I can do. And I took him to across the Karnataka. That time I was in Belgaum. I took him to Belgaum, Hubli, everywhere. And later he told me the representation from Karnataka gone 500 times more because of this intervention. All I have done is I have involved media. I have created a campaign. I brought people. I conducted programs. I made him to come and talk and given the sample question papers and how to prepare for Air Force exam, all those things, people joined from here. I don't know who all are the people joined, but I'm sure those blessings will come to me in different way. And similar way, Mangaluru is a very, very fertile land. This is a place where several banks are born. Banks are born. Other day we were having a session about Corporation Bank. Corporation Bank, from inception up to 70s, they were very ordinary bank. Very ordinary bank. But when a new team has come to play the leadership, suddenly they become a very, very prominent, popular, leading bank. So what I am trying to tell is, when media take a leadership of development activity in the society will progress faster. We should identify where is the resource lie. Everybody is talking, we are bringing investment and we are bringing investment and investment will bring development. There are hundreds of places which is lying underutilized and we are not doing anything to revive them. Now suppose we revive, now Lakshman is doing a lot of activities for the revival of tourism sector. We should directly participate in the activities, take part in the activities to know the real feeling. So I asked someone about how to tell the real feeling. So he told the example of Napoleon Bonaparte. Napoleon Bonaparte, he was, whenever he want to attack, attach, connect, grab any country, he should just send a message. Napoleon is coming to fight with you. If you have courage, fight or surrender. So countries will surrender. Similar way, Napoleon went to attack Russia. And Russian army, they knew we cannot fight and succeed with Napoleon. So what they have done is, they have taken a different method. They retreated from the main places to interior places. They ran away, they ran behind their main centers and they escaped into interior places. For the Napoleon's army, it was a free entry and free capture. They went on capturing. But the Russian army, while retreating, they were removing all possibility for the food supply for Napoleon army. There were no food available anywhere in those areas where they were going. And the climate was also changing. It has become very, very cold. And at one point, Napoleon realized that things are changing and my army is in a mutiny. They are fighting back. They may any time against me, they will move. So he told, we are not going back. At any case, you all about turn and walk forward. March forward, he told. And when they were retreating, the Russian army came to attack. And in that attack, there were very much, so many of Napoleon army were killed. And then Napoleon was protected by a group of people, and then he was separated from them and he ran for his life. And Russian army spotted him, they ran behind. And at one point, he went into a cotton shop and got into the cotton inside. He ran inside and hid there. And the shopkeeper was seeing Napoleon, the king, the mighty king, is now hiding in my shop. Few seconds later, few minutes later, Russian army came searching him. They asked him, did you see Napoleon coming? No, no, he told, I have not seen. And they put all effort, and the spear they sprang into this one cotton, this one bundle, but it did not touch Napoleon. And they went back after a while, and after some time, Napoleon's army also came searching him, and when everything is safe, Napoleon came out. So this shopkeeper felt very happy. I saved the life of the king, Napoleon the king. And he felt so happy. So in that happy mood, he asked the king, what was your feeling when you were struggling for life? So Napoleon king, he responded, you are having the audacity to ask such a nonsense questions to King Napoleon. I am going to kill you right now for asking such a question to the King Napoleon. And he removed his sword from his arm, and he told his people to hide his face, hide his eyes, cover his eyes. And this man his face was covered, and he told, at the count of 3, I am going to kill you. And then he counted 1, 2, and 3, and suddenly he removed the cover from his eyes and told, do you know what I felt when I was running for my life? That was a real experience for the shopkeeper. He realized. And this is what is exactly about anything growth success. You should get into the water to know the water, to feel the water. So that is why I am telling, I am a media person. I wanted to get into the activity and become part of the activity, and I want to make that activity to become successful and take my share. So I tell people, anybody who has potential, come forward. We will give media support. Let us work together and then take our place into progress. This is what Lakshman is doing. Lakshman is seen around the people always. There is so many people. It's a crowded place. He's not following Corona protocol, I think, most of the time. And maybe physical distancing is followed. But he has a number of teams of people working. He is into a lot of activities. Much before the national TV channels or in par with the national TV channels, he has created Comedy Premier League, which has become one of the best programs. And all the programs are practical programs. And I'll tell you, in India, out of the cable TV news network, the channels run in the cable TV platform, I think V4 News is the #1 in the country, which has that kind of a reach. And when all the cable TV channels adopt this national TV quality and regional outlook, that will fetch development for each place. And development cannot happen at global in the sky. We cannot make progress in the moon, going to moon. We have to make progress at local. Global approach and local approach should go together. We can have a global vision, but action should happen at global. So I admire him getting into the tourism initiatives, getting into sports initiatives. What I do is to connect with such people. Now, other day I was talking to Wing Commander Ghosh, and Wing Commander Ghosh and Enrico Piperno wanted to create a large number of sports event managers in the country. Number of opportunities are, we can have at least 5,000 sports event managers in India. Not in India, in Karnataka. 5,000 sports event managers professionally organizing events. We want 5,000 tourism ambassadors for Karnataka. When we go to Holy Land tour, we want a tourism guide. And when people come to Mangaluru, I asked with the hotelier, what is there to see? There is nothing to see here, sir. There are, everywhere you turn in Mangaluru is a tourism place. So we should come out with like a 14-day tour in Mangaluru. Like that, packages we need to bring in. And I'm sure media like V4 will do such a tremendous initiatives, taking leadership in action. I wish Mr. Lakshman a happy birthday. I wish V4 News great success. And for Lal Goel, sir, the support which you are giving and the kind of connectivity you are bringing to Mangalore through the kind of, I think about 2,000 people we have connected in the platform already in these 2 years. And when we put all of them into action, and we are doing youth episodes, and we are nurturing youth editors, and when all of them come into program, America is, other day, the vice president is telling this is a land of opportunities. Can we make our land a land of opportunities? Yeah, when we make our land a land of opportunities, our people will turn around this a better place than America. There's nothing special to see in America which we cannot see here. I stop here. I think my time is, I crossed my time. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. And Ms. Lakshman, thank you very much for all your support. And you will make a real difference in the days to come. All the very best.
Thank you very much, Mr. Paul. I can understand when a media person speaks, so it's very difficult to stop the media person. But what I will just add one thing, what Mr. Paul has mentioned about the Mangalore. I am here for last now almost almost 16 years, and I found the best place in the country, not even the country, even internationally. I was, as I told, I was at Hawaii, and the climate and everything of Hawaii is similar to Mangalore, but they are very much advanced as well as the tourism is concerned. I'm sure with the help of the media and especially V4 News and Global TV, we can bring the Mangalore on a world map in as far as the tourist is concerned. One more thing I would like to inform my viewers, I have seen so many cities and countries. I have not seen a rich city like Mangaluru. And my scale of richness is about the person's pattern. And I have seen not a single beggar outside any temple or mosque or a church here in Mangaluru, which is nowhere. I belongs to a place called Mathura, where the Lord Krishna was born. There, every temple, if you will go, you will find the queues of the beggars, but here no one is begging. This shows the richness. Thank you very much, Mr. Paul, for giving so much information. I'm sure that our viewers are quite enriched today about the Mangaluru as well as for V4.